This has to be one of the most insane news that I have seen today यार. डोनाल्ड ट्रंप आई नो कि बहुत कंट्रोवर्शियल प्रेसिडेंट है, लेकिन इस एक्सटेंट तक कंट्रोवर्शियल रहेगा कि समवन वुड एक्चुअली ट्राई टू एंड हिम, ये मेरे को नहीं पता था. आज का ही न्यूज़ में आई सॉ कि उसको कोई एंड करने का ट्राई किया था इन अ पीसफुल मीटिंग, which is absolutely insane.
News Alert, I'm Chanley Pater live in New York. We do have breaking news out of Washington, D.C. The latest from the White House Correspondents' Dinner. The Secret Service has a person in custody after shots were fired at the Correspondents' Dinner. We are now just learning details. It is all brand new. Let's bring in John Roberts. He's on the phone with me right now. John, what can you tell us more about this shooting?
Well, it didn't appear to actually occur inside the ballroom where we're all assembled for this dinner. The president up on the dais along with the press secretary, the first lady, a number of other dignitaries, and of course, literally every member of the cabinet inside the room, a lot of them sitting with us here at Fox. All we heard was a sudden rushing and commotion, and the Secret Service and all of the various agencies that protect people like Speaker Mike Johnson, who was here, came rushing into the room. People were told to get down. They started taking the protectees out. The president was whisked out of here in a heartbeat, along with everybody else who was on the head table up on the dais. It doesn't appear that anything happened inside the room. I'm hearing reports from inside the room here that if there were shots fired, it was outside of the room. But out of an abundance of caution, obviously, because you don't know if it's a single person or if there may be others attached to whatever happened, that they got everybody out of here. I've been to so many of these Correspondents Association dinners. Nothing even remotely like this has ever happened. But the fact that this is President Trump's first time being at this dinner, the controversy, obviously, that a lot of people on the left see about the Iran war and various other things that this administration has pursued. I mean, it's obviously not outside of the realm of possibility. If something like this would happen, and certainly Erica Kirk's just being taken out right beside me. You can imagine the trauma that she's experiencing right now after what happened in Utah last year. So, I mean, a lot of people very upset. I think the dinner, for all intents and purposes, is over at this point. But we're just trying to figure out what's going to happen from here on.
और फिर इन्वेस्टिगेशन के बाद वो लोग फाइनली जो सस्पेक्ट को खोज रहा था उसको वो लोग आराम से खोज लिया था, एंड दिस इज व्हाट दे हैड टू से.
The very latest, I guess, on the investigation, which is not only ongoing at this hour, it seems to be advancing just a bit, David.
Kevin and Alicia, it is. I spoke to two law enforcement sources briefed on this evolving investigation. The suspect's name is Cole Allen, 31 years old. He's from Torrance, California, Southern California. We know that the FBI going through his apartment right now. We're told that he may have been a guest at the hotel. That's been reported as well. Working to get a little bit more details there. But that is a picture that you see on the screen next to me of Cole Allen, per two senior law enforcement sources briefed on this matter. They're going, as I said, through the apartment, through cell phones, to see who he may have spoken to see if anybody was aware of this. So he's 31 from Southern California. Still so many questions, though, that we are waiting for this hour as we are approaching the midnight hour. You heard the U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro announce some of the charges. She said more charges will be filed in federal court. Also, Todd Blanche, the acting Attorney General, was at the White House behind me as President Trump and members of his cabinet briefed the press. And he said that there would be more as this happens. So I suspect that we will learn more about this suspect as the days come out. But I will note that this is extraordinarily a short period of time to not only find out the name of a suspect, but see a picture, see surveillance video. I mean, this was all done within an hour or so of that incident that happened. And that's because the President of the United States and all of the top law enforcement officials wanted to make this public and be transparent so people could see what was going on and what happened. Kevin, Alicia?
David, that really was an incredible thing that the president was sharing this with us in real time as quickly as he could. He was getting it out to us. One note on something that came out of the news conference with law enforcement. The interim police chief for D.C. did say that the suspect was staying in a room at the hotel and that room had been secured. And then additionally, we were told that the suspect had a long gun, a handgun, and multiple knives. And all of that is so incredibly frightening when you just think about the fact that law enforcement says the suspect was in the hotel. And David, I don't know if you know this or not, but how does it work when you have this event and multiple events in this very specific hotel with dignitaries, and you have also guests there that have nothing to do with that event? What are the security protocols? Do you know how that works?
Well, I don't want to speculate. I don't know specifically how it would work each time, but I'll tell you this. Gun laws in Washington, D.C., the nation's capital, are incredibly tight, are incredibly strict. So to think that, yes, he may have been a guest at the hotel, as the interim police chief said, and yes, he may have had guns on him, it's curious to see, number one, how that would have happened, and number two, what the security protocol was like for guests, knowing that the President of the United States, the Vice President, pretty much the entire cabinet.
और ट्रम्प का रिएक्शन व्हेन आस्क्ड कि why does this keep happening to you, is also something anyone should keep in mind अगर वो pro freedom of speech है, which I think should be considered at this point.
Trump, there's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names here, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No.
indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know, I'm not going to be, I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
And naturally हम लोग को world leaders का भी message देखने को मिलेगा at this time. Even our own Modi ji said his concerns, and even Japan की Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi भी अपना message और concerns भेजी थी. Because I think Japan is one of America's biggest allies. At the end of the day, मैं यही बोलूँगा कि everything should be resolved peacefully. I don't think कि people should resort to other means just because of political differences. And I hope everyone understands that, because currently, personally मेरे को वही लग रहा है कि भाई political differences के चलते लोग भाई बहुत extreme तक जा रहे हैं, जो जाना नहीं चाहिए. Anyways guys, that's about it for this video. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you all think about it? And I will see you all in the next video. That's about it. Peace out. Have fun.